All right, welcome to Technical Reading Through Games, and this is our Twitch, I guess, premiere. We were on YouTube before, so now we're on Twitch. You're going to get a lot of good game footage today. So the goal for today, for those of you who are just joining us, so the idea behind this course is we use games as text instead of novels and textbooks, and we use it to explore. This semester would be technical reading. And technical reading is very different than reading of literature and those kinds of things and novels. So what we do is we basically pull apart games and take a look at how they're created and the different techniques and styles that are used, as well as all the information that's coming at the player as they play the game. And that's what we use in this course. So we've gone over several units already. We've looked at user interfaces, we looked at a little bit of game design, we looked at games as text. Now we're looking at games and audience. And so far we've talked a lot about a lot of different things that are going on with games and audience. And we've looked at how do you determine what the demographic of a game is, and then we looked at why that is even important. And so what we've determined so far is the reason why knowing your audience for a game is important is because you need to know, in particular, how you're going to create a game that is going to keep the interest and pique the interest of gamers and non-gamers alike, people that maybe know the series, as well as new games that aren't even a part of a series. So today you are going to play. On Friday we took a look at a MacBook manual, and all of you, you basically picked out 5 different pieces of evidence that pointed to who the audience of that particular manual might be. And then what you did is you gave reasons as to why those pieces of evidence pointed to a particular audience. And so the reason why I did that is because I wanted you to see that there's a particular vocabulary and a particular way that you address an audience. And so you're going to write different for different audiences. So we're going to jump back into games today. You're all going to be in your pods playing your particular game that you've been playing now for, about a week and a half. And what I want you to do is today you are going to do exactly what you did on Friday, except instead of using a manual, you're going to use your game to do it. So you're going to pick out 5 pieces of evidence that are only gameplay. You can't use any user interface. It's only gameplay, game mechanics. But 5 pieces of evidence that point to a particular audience or a particular gamer type. And you can refer to Bartle's player types if you want to. And then you're going to explain how each one of those pieces of evidence point to a particular audience. All right, so I already have the assignment in Google Classroom. The goal would be to have you work on it between today and tomorrow. You don't have to have it done today. In fact, I don't want you to finish it today. I want you to really take your time. I want you to dig deep into your game, and I want you to really think about the types of people that might be most interested in playing the type of game that your pod is playing. All right, that's the idea. Okay, so take your time. You can work on it today as you play, or as your pod mates play, as you're watching them, you can work on it, and then you're going to finish up tomorrow by the end of class. So today and tomorrow, both game days, and you are looking at particularly 5 pieces of evidence that point to a particular audience. I'll be around to ask you all kinds of questions about your game. Some questions might be repeat questions that I've asked in the past in this video series. Some questions might be new questions. So before we begin, what questions do you all have? Awesome. All right, let's get to playing. Thanks. All right, so the first group we're gonna start with here is our Zelda group, and these guys have been playing for a while now. Now I've asked you guys questions, audiences, and you guys have got some pretty good answers. Um, I know that you're at a point in the game where I know you didn't like start at the beginning; you started pretty much at the end.
I have no idea how far into the game I am right now.
He's barely into it.
So you aren't that far into it. All right. So, I mean, just looking at just that map alone, looks like it's pretty enormous. Now this is a game that's been out for a while, right? Breath of the Wild.
I think it's just over 2 years old.
All right. So a lot of people probably played this one quite a bit. Now, one thing I think you'd mentioned last week is the idea that part of what makes this game kind of unique in the Zelda series is possibly like the art style. Are the game mechanics the same as what they've been in the past?
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
All right, so I guess I asked you this last week, but I'm gonna ask you again. So, if somebody's played the entire Zelda series, like they played every single game, what's gonna draw them into playing this particular game, Breath of the Wild?
Probably that it's like an open game. There's more to do. Like, you're not limited to level by level. It's the giant sandbox world.
That's true. I guess you guys had mentioned that last week. World. Is this the first Zelda that's open world? Yeah. All right. So that's a pretty massive, right? So you can spend virtually as long as you want doing all these side quests and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Now, have you done all the side quests and everything? Because you've beaten this game before, right?
No, yeah, I've only beaten it once, but I'm still not close to beating like all the side quests and everything.
All right. So if we're looking at like Bartle's player types, I think last week you said explorers, maybe, right? If you were an achiever, I mean, would this game drive you absolutely crazy?
Maybe, but I mean, if you're an achiever, you probably just want to beat like all the main quests and all the side missions and everything, which would take a while, and you'd have to like find all of them first. And in this massive game, that would take a while by itself. But I mean, it could drive you crazy.
Okay, all right. But that's also probably one of the appeals of the game, right? Is that there's just so much that you can't. All right, now you guys are playing Zelda on 2 separate Switches right now. What are you trying to do right now?
Oh, I have to carry this flame, but the issue is that my bat broke, and so I couldn't continue it. So, yeah, what am I supposed to do? Adam, am I supposed to like light these things up?
Yeah, you are. You have to find a torch. Yeah, there are just like torches in the game. I don't know where one is, like around here. But torches will stay lit for a lot longer. Well, they'll pretty much stay lit for almost forever. But that's how you bring the flame from each one of those things.
What if I break a tree?
Like you just find torches wherever on their own. I don't think you can make torches or anything like that. But yeah, like you can light like wooden weapons up, but they will break long.
Okay, so all right, so there's this concept called apprenticeship, which is the idea in gaming that like one person helps another person like through the game itself, and that's a big part of like game playing, is especially in a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you have one person that walks you through. So if you're looking at like people that play games, there's this big misconception that gamers are all loners and those kinds of things. But if you look at like apprenticeship, which is exactly what you two were just doing, that seems to be a huge part of the game, right? Could you make it through this game without him sitting right here next to you?
Probably not, because I have no idea what's going on.
Right, and would it be difficult to have? Have you played the Zeldas previous to this?
No.
Okay, so and whereas you have, right?
Oh yeah, a few.
Okay, so that level of experience I think is really, really important when it comes to understanding the game, right, and enjoying the game more importantly. Too busy playing, right? All right. All right, we're going to move on to our Steam station here. And here we have a pod. They're playing the game Fez. Very interesting 2D/3D game. And these two have been playing this game for a little while now, about a week and a half, maybe 5 days total playtime, maybe. Now, you two have gotten quite far in this game, right?
Yeah, pretty.
Now, have you gotten farther than you thought you would when you first started playing?
No, not really, because last semester I played this game and I was farther than this and we had less time.
Okay, all right. So this is your second time playing it. Is the second time playing it any easier, or is it more fun? I guess, how is it different than playing it the first time, if you can remember?
Well, I kind of know the controls now and, like, know how the game works, but last time it was more difficult because it was my first time playing.
Okay. So would you suggest playing this game, like, with someone the first time, or just going forward alone? It's a loaded question, right? I know, I get it. Okay, so let me ask then, if you had to play this game alone versus having someone who's already played it before, is this a game that you would pick up or not?
Probably not, because it's like kind of confusing and it takes a while to like learn it. Like I still don't really know it, but I'd rather play with someone who's played it before and can help.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So I know this is supposed to be, like a one-player game, but obviously, there's two of you that are kind of playing this, and one person's watching while the other person attempts, to solve the puzzles, or both of you try to solve the puzzles. Are both of you contributing here? Or is like one of you just watching while one of you plays, or are you both trying to solve the puzzles together? How does this work out between you two?
We kind of just take turns, but like if I don't understand, I'll like ask for help.
Is it hard to ask for help?
Sometimes.
Okay, so let me ask you. So you ask for help in the game, like in like a normal like classroom. Do you like raise your hand and ask for help a lot?
Not really.
Is it easier to ask for help like when you have somebody sitting beside you with a game? Would you say?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept there. Alright, so we're moving on to our Minecraft group here, and they spent the last few days, building. I think they built a mansion. Now that looks like they're doing Elytra courses, it looks like here, right? So there's nothing people like more when they're doing Elytra course than being asked questions, right? All right, so this is a different game mode. Now both of you, I know both of you played all the game modes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the advantage? I said I'm gonna ask you questions to do this, so I apologize because I'm probably gonna force you to like run into something. But what's the advantage of not only being able to play like just straight Minecraft, but have these different game modes?
It just gives variety to the game. Instead of just playing creative and survival, you got more options.
So you think it might appeal to maybe a broader audience?
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, then you have. I mean, Minecraft is such a well-known game, right? I think it's still, if it's not the most popular game in the world, it's definitely at the top of the list. And so you've had so many people that have played Minecraft. So to give different game modes does, I guess, give the opportunity to try some different things, right? Because you probably wouldn't like build like this on your own, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. And it provides different challenges, right? I mean, it's not like it's totally different than building, so. Now, would you do this online or just keep it local?
Like playing at home, I'd play online, but here it's just better just playing in.
All right, so I asked the Zelda group about this, the whole idea of the I don't know, I guess the assumption that gamers like to be loners or sit in the basement playing games, those kind of things is not at all accurate, especially in this day and age of the multiplayer game. Would you agree? Even something like this, I mean, is this more fun with 2 players?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So what do you say to somebody that says like, yeah, gamers are just loners, they just need to get out of their basement? What would you say to somebody like that?
It's like a stereotype that people give gamers. It's kind of unnecessary because it's not true. There's like sports. There might be play games that are like that, but that's not the big like population of gamers.
So when we're looking at like audience, and that's obviously that big misconception, being able to understand, who gamers really are and what they really enjoy playing and those kinds of things, I think is really really important. Do you think overall, game designers get that?
Yeah, I think they do get that.
Alright, so we moved on to our HTC Vive station here, and this pod is playing, this is our VR station, virtual reality, and it looks like they're playing The Wizards. A pretty immersive first-person narrative, I guess you call it first-person shooter maybe, I'm not really sure if that's what you would call it, first-person wizard. So you guys have been playing this game for a few days now, right? And this, you landed on this one, this wasn't the first one that you tried, right?
Yeah, the first one we tried was a sports game.
So what made you switch to this one?
It looked pretty cool.
Okay, alright. Now, I've heard you guys say a lot of comments about this, so if somebody's asking you about this game, what might you tell them?
It's pretty realistic, like the movements. Sometimes you'll almost fall over when you're getting attacked, or you'll get scared if you get like a jump scare.
And so, I mean, in order to do a lot of the like the offensive moves, the defensive moves, you have to like move your hand in certain directions and those kinds of things, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of gestures they'll teach you in the beginning or after you complete a level.
Okay. No, you guys have. This isn't your first time on HTC Vive. I think you guys have played a bunch of games on here. How does this game compare to all the other games that you played on here?
I don't really know. The first game we played, like I said, was a sports game, which wasn't realistic at all.
You guys played Apex Construct, like oh, you never played that? Okay, so I know they played Apex Construct, which that's pretty cool too. This is just very very different. And of course, you know, the idea of movement. You know, would it be better if you could walk, or do you like teleportation?
I like teleportation because it's easier to get around, but you can walk. It's just harder to control.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of cords here attached to the headpiece here as well. So, ooh, he looks bad. Oh yeah, Richie's playing it. That's right. That was Richie's playing experience was the first one. Yeah, which is very different. You know, you got these big guys. Yeah. The cool thing about this game too, actually, that I kind of like is it's not like super scary in terms of like the characters themselves. You know, and it's not like gory or anything, so you can appeal to like a wide audience. But at the same time, it's still intense.
The only type of blood in the game is when you're getting hit to show you that you're getting hit.
It's your red indicator on your screen, right? Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay, so Nomi, I'm gonna talk to the person who's playing now. So, how intense was that?
Pretty. It caught me off guard.
All right, all right.
These corridors look nonsensical. No doors, no intersections. What was the purpose of this place?
All right, so we're moving on to our game board station here, and this pod is playing this War of Mine based on a video game. This is your what? How many times have you guys played this so far?
This is our third time, and we decided to change it up a bit and do a different game mode called Endless Night.
Okay, so it's different game modes, which is cool, right? Three game modes. Okay, cool.
The last day, so I don't know if that's a different game mode or if that's just the final day of the story game.
So have either of you actually played the video game that this board game is based off of?
No, but I've seen people play it.
Okay, all right. No, do you like the game? What do you think of the game design itself?
Well, it's kind of long and can be very difficult at times.
Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of parts. We've talked about this before. Is this a game that just anyone can pick up and just run with it?
Well, I would say yes, because it does tell you everything you need to know right off the start. And if you don't know something, if you just play through, you'll get the hang of it.
Okay. So, is this a game, though, that you think would appeal to, like, you know, even like younger kids, or is this more of like a high school adult kind of thing?
I think this is more of like a young adult to like teens, because there's a little bit of like, I would say violence, but you don't really see any of it. So it's
all narrative violence.
Everything is narrative, and there's a lot of reading involved.
Can you play this as one player?
You can.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, that's cool. All right, well, I'll let you get out of here. back to Zelda Breath of the Wild here. Yeah, it looks like you made some progress. Okay, all right. Maybe spoke too soon. I don't know. Okay, so what kinds of things are you noticing as you play that might give like an indication as to how people that might like this kind of game?
People who get frustrated easily.
So what kind of a player type are you? If you had to...
Adventurer. Especially with games that are like sequels. I like to see improvements.
Oh, okay, so you're the explorer. Okay, all right, that's cool. Yeah. So I mean, this game appeals to you then, right? I mean, at least a little bit, at least visually, right?
I could see. I found like a bunch of old robots. I didn't really know what they were, so I asked Adam and got the history of them. So now when I see them, it's like really cool.
All right, that's cool. Okay. I mean, this game is visually, it's pretty stunning. Even like the simple little animations, like just the level of detail. There's always something to look at, I guess, you know.
Agreed.
All right, so you got the flames, right?
Yeah, I have it all the way to up there, but I have to get it to there. But I didn't have any more branches.
Okay, so now you got to finish it off, right? It's taking you quite a while. Did you think going into this little challenge it would take this long?
No.
And yet you're still attempting it, right?
Yep.
All right. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, we're back to Fez. Blowing stuff up. Okay.
It won't let. I figure out how to get up there, but it won't let me, like, turn the screen fast enough to be able to do it.
Okay, that's interesting, right? So game dynamic may be getting in the way. So this Fez thing appears to be like a really simple game dynamic. However, in practice, it's not really all that simple at all, right?
No, it's not simple at all.
To do right now.
Wait, what?
So what are you attempting to do right now?
So I'm trying to blow up like the pieces, so I can get to the top and get a weird thingy that helps you, like, beat the game. The blocks. And it's like you have to turn the screen so that way it blows it up.
Oh, I see.
And I didn't just figure that out right now.
Got it.
I watched a walkthrough of how to do it.
All right, that's fair. Okay. It's like online walkthrough. Is that like Spark Notes for like video games?
What?
Is the idea? I said it's like Spark Notes for video games, right?
What?
That's fair. Okay. If it's there, use it, right? I wish like the old days of like playing like the original Zelda. I wish I had a YouTube walkthroughs for that. That would have saved me, hours and hours and hours as a kid. But do you think this game appeals to all ages?
No, not at all.
No, why not?
I mean, it may appeal to them, but they won't be able to do it because, like, it's so challenging. I feel like it's more towards teenagers and adults that have a better education and like know how to do the puzzles. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's deceptively simple looking. You know, of course, I love the animations, right? But yeah, I mean it is a pretty challenging game. As you change your 2D to 3D back to 2D. Alright, let's see, we're having some technical difficulties here with our Xbox here, so we're gonna flip out to our HTC Vive here. We're gonna go there. See what's going down here in Wizards. Perfect. So we got some big bad dudes. Oh man, they're coming from everywhere. All right, so one thing we talked about that's interesting about the health is, we talked about this last week, is that it looks like the user interface, at least for the health part of it, seems to be diegetic. It's right on the back of the player's hand. You got big guys, you got little guys, you got a little bit of everything here. Do you think this would be too scary for, I don't know, like maybe somebody elementary, you know, like we're like 8 to 10 years old? Would this be too scary for them, or is it just cartoony enough that it wouldn't be?
I think it's just cartoony enough because there's no gore.
So it's more intense than it is scary.
Yeah, basically.
I know, like when it's there right in front of your face and they're all around you, like it feels completely different, right?
Yeah, when they're all surrounding you, but if you're fighting one guy, it's different.
All right, so how'd that feel?
Not good.
It was a little. Let's see your health again. You pull your health up again. All right, so there it is. Right, that's pretty cool. Do you like the fact that health is on the back of your hand?
Yeah. Oh God.
So even the statue attacks you.
Yeah, when you step on the plates.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're back at our Minecraft station here, and it looks like what are you guys playing now? Are you guys doing versus here, right? Why not just do this like in game?
Because, well, with the snowballs, I don't think they destroy blocks, do they?
Yeah, so I mean it's kind of a silly game, right? I mean, but kind of fun. Is there much strategy involved here?
Maybe a little bit, but not much. It's mostly just spamming.
Okay, alright. Oh, it looks like someone fell in lava. And the other one. Alright. So, okay, so if we're looking at different game modes, how does this compare to, like, the Elytra course?
With the electric course, it's more like skill based. Well, I mean, this one is kind of skill based, but the more people you have, the more like chaotic it is. And with electric course, it's more just skill.
It's just kind of a silly, like, throwaway game, right? I mean, it's not... There's no investment in this. I mean, not really. As compared to the mansion that you guys made in creative mode earlier, though, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so if we're looking at, like, let's say, parents are looking at, like, their kid says they want to play something like Fortnite or Apex Legend or something like that. What if, is this like a better option to that for little kids?
I would say yes, but really, like, Fortnite and all those aren't really that bad for kids. I mean, parents always, like, kind of get, like, upset with, like violence in video games and stuff, but Minecraft would probably be a better option in that sense, but I really think that Fortnite and Apex are fine. If not Apex, then Fortnite's fine.
But I mean, this is a little different, right? I mean, you're throwing snowballs and landing in lava. It's not, I mean, the concept itself is a completely different kind of concept, right?
Yeah.
Alright, back to Breath of the Wild here. Just for the viewers, by the way. So we got one person playing that you can see and one person playing on a second Switch that you can't see, both playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's like Zeldaception here. It's Zelda within Zelda within Zelda. Now what I appreciate about this situation is you just went in, sword a swing, nigh a care for the size of these enemies.
That's what you gotta do.
Go big or go home, right? And when your home has been taken over by a giant black cloud, all you can do is go, oh. That's gonna leave a mark.
Currently under attack. Oh, these blew themselves up. Not too good at this.
He didn't light the tree on fire like you'd think it would.
Nothing. That was cool.
Ooh, you took him off. That was nice. That was a nice shot there. Okay, all right. Okay, so are there any games that you played previous to this that you felt like set you up to be able to play this more effectively? Or should there were like certain things that you just kind of knew about this game because you've played them in other games?
No.
Just nothing. I mean, you ate raw meat. I mean, Minecraft, you can eat raw meat too. So what you're saying is you don't have to be a gamer to play Zelda?
No.
That's fair too. Right, I mean, it's late. They pretty much lay stuff out for you, I think. I mean, even like right there, right? Even that user interface showed you exactly what to do, right? Hit A to take it.
I agree with that.
Okay, so you did you end up lighting all of the blue fires?
Yeah, and then I took it up there and they fixed my tablet thing that I have on my holster.
Zelda has an iPad?
Yep, basically.
That's cool, man. So you can watch like Netflix and stuff on it?
Yeah. It's how I do it, you know.
Doesn't seem like you'd have much time to do that. Hey.
You know, sometimes he just chills on top of towers.
Long day of fighting goblins. Alright. Alright, so we're closing in on the 5-minute mark here of class being over. We're coming back to the Wizards. And, so what is it that you're trying to do right now?
Trying to open gates. There's certain patterns. See, like certain things open certain doors.
Okay.
So this way, now these ones are locked, so I have to go back around.
So you're trying to figure, okay, patterns, I get it. Alright.
Over here. This one. That one opens. But this one's not open.
Alright, everyone, thank you so much for your focus play today. A lot of interesting things were happening as you guys were all playing here. So thank you so much. Great work today. Don't forget, tomorrow you have your Google Classroom response, just some of those 5 pieces of evidence. So I know you did a lot of playing today. That's great. So tomorrow, it's a matter of remembering and recording all of those things that you did today, as well as what you're going to do tomorrow, all right? So, what questions do you have before we leave for the day?
Let's go.
Questions? Awesome. All right, have a great day. Thanks.